Good morning, America. Kevin Durant is a Phoenix Sun. Holy shit. This is a crazy, crazy, crazy deal. I don't know if anybody saw this coming. I'll get into the trade package shortly. If you like the video, please like, comment, subscribe, share. Let me know what you think of this trade. What would you grade it? But immediately, the first thing we have to get into the trade. It came in the middle of the night, 1:09 in the morning, Eastern Standard Time. Nobody saw it coming. I mean, the Nets had previously in the last couple of days, after making the Kyrie Irving trade, committed to the fact that they were going to build around Kevin Durant. That was clearly a smokescreen. But ultimately, this trade is staggering. Just when people were counting the Phoenix Suns out, it looked a little worse than last season. It looked like their title window was shortening by the game. Ultimately, they're right back in things. So, the trade package is the Brooklyn Nets receiving Mikal Bridges, Cam Johnson, Jay Crowder, 4 first-round picks, and a pick swap in 2028. So, wow, absolutely insane. The Nets are getting 2023, 2025, 2027, and 2029 unprotected, and then 2028 will be a pick swap. The Suns receive Kevin Durant and TJ Warren. That is, I went to bed nearly unable to sleep because of how staggering of a trade this is. This is not a Woj bomb. This is a Woj nuke. This is absolutely insanity because the Suns look like one of the best starting fives in the league now. If not the best, probably the best. Because now they have Chris Paul, Devin Booker, Kevin Durant, Dario Saric, and Ayton. And then you have TJ Warren there as well, and some other guys. But ultimately, what does this mean for both sides? Because after going, in the midst of this news, I was almost speechless. I couldn't even begin to describe how I felt because that came out of nowhere and the consequences of which are insane. The Nets have basically said, this whole big three of Kyrie, James Harden, Kevin Durant doesn't work. We need our picks, and they've washed their hands of it. They have Ben Simmons, who knows if he's playing basketball, but that is insane. Like, the return for those three guys has been effectively minimal. Brooklyn's hit the hard reset. The Suns, though, have very, very little depth in terms of their rotation past the starting five and a couple guys off the bench. But sometimes that's all you need because star power wins rings. And, I mean, there's a lot of storylines at play here. I mean, first off, Matt Ishibia, he became the new governor of the Suns very recently in a nearly unanimous vote, and he wanted to make a splash, as new owners typically want to do in sports teams, and he went for it. He swung for the fences, and I can't help but think that this feels like almost a little too little of a package for Kevin Durant. I mean, Kevin Durant is one of the top 5, if not 5, 10 players in the league, and you just paired him with the NBA runner-up last year, the former finalists from last season. And this really shifts things in the West because, sure, Kyrie going to the Mavs, I mean, the Clippers game last night, they performed really well without Luka. So that was probably exciting for Mavs fans. And ultimately, you have now a extremely competitive West that looked just a week ago to be fairly middling. I mean, Now, in a season where most people were thinking that was the Nuggets coming out of the West, and maybe they still are, nothing's set in stone. Health management is, and injury management is huge in title runs and will be very important in this one. But the Mavericks get better immediately. The Suns get astonishingly better immediately. And I don't know what other trades we'll see, but there's a lot to unpack here. This is going to be a staggering offseason, a staggering postseason, and some of the narratives that are coming out are very entertaining. I mean, the Suns and Mavericks had probably one of the most insane, playoff series last season. Luka came back against the Mavericks, beat them in Phoenix in Game 7, and it seemed like that could be a team-defining loss to the extent that maybe that was it for their window. Chris Paul's aging. He's a little worse this season, but he's still freaking Chris Paul. And the Suns, they seem to be having some issues with Ayton, whether he was going to sign, whether he was going to stay. And all of a sudden, you split up Kyrie and Kevin Durant, the dynamic duo in Brooklyn after the whole James Harden experiment failed. You split them up. You put Kevin Durant on the Suns. You put Kyrie on the Mavs. And if they face off in the playoffs, oh my God, the absolute drama that'll unfold is going to be must-watch television. I mean, this is sent shockwaves throughout the NBA beyond belief, and rightfully so. This is a blockbuster trade with a capital B. This is insane. I mean, I'm at a loss, really. I'm excited to see what else happens in the trade market before the end of before the trade deadline hits later tonight. And I think there's going to be a lot of stuff going on. I think there's going to be a lot of movements around the league because I think a lot of people are going to respond to this and say, hey, they strengthened, and if we don't strengthen right now, they might be in a position to be extremely competitive and maybe, keep us out of competing. The West looks extremely stacked now as compared to, it not being so stacked. I mean, even the Lakers, I'd say, have made some positive moves with D'Lo, Beasley, and Vanderbilt getting added and, getting rid of Russ and that three-team trade. But I think right now the question's going to start to become up until, we have this day to see what happens. And once that all settles, it's going to effectively be, man, the East is, a lot less threatening. And the West is a whole lot more threatening. And there's been an insane, innumerable amount of replies to this. I mean, Robin Lopez chiming in, CJ McCollum chiming in. It really paints a really pretty looking perspective picture for the end of the NBA season because, wow, Kevin Durant is a Phoenix freaking Sun. And I mean, I don't particularly, have an affinity or some connection to the Suns organization or anything like that. But man, KD in a Suns jersey just kind of, you can already picture it, and it looks like, it makes sense. And on top of that, that jersey's going to slap. The Valley jersey with Kevin Durant, oh my goodness, that's going to be a beauty. But anyways, if you liked the video, please like, comment, subscribe, share it. Let me know what you think of this trade. What would you rate it? I'm going to rate it. I think this is, I don't know. I'm not going to give it an A+, but I'm going to give it an A for the Suns. The Nets, I mean, they got 5 first-round picks and Cam Johnson and Mikal Bridges, but given the context of the big three they had with Harden, Kyrie, and KD, it's the what they turned them into isn't really all that amazing, to say the least, I'd say. So I'd give them maybe, and I think that plays a big part in determining how the Nets are scored for this trade. I would score the Nets at like a very low B minus, high C plus for this trade, just because you don't know what those picks are going to be. They could be, later down the line, we could be like, oh my God, the Nets hit it out the park because, they rebuilt around Cam Thompson and Dinwiddie and Dorian Finney-Smith, and, maybe Simmons gets to a playable level, and then you get some good wing depth, and you end up maybe tanking, and somehow you get Victor Wembanyama next season in the draft, and maybe he's a stud, and they have picks all the way up to 2029. So ultimately, this is a blockbuster trade, given the Nets an A, the Suns a B minus / a C plus. Let me know what you think. What would you rate it? And yeah, that's all I really have to offer at this point. There will probably be another video out soon because I just read that the European Super League is apparently coming back in footy, which is not great news. Very, very wild news. I mean, Juve, Madrid, and Barca apparently leading the charge. But regardless, thank you guys so much for watching if you made it this far. And I'll see you in the next video. Peace.